Get in line and follow us. We'll show you the way. Once again.
We're the innovators. Everyone else will be ripping us off. Before you know it, it'll be sea breezes in the Hamptons, Robin.
Oh, that feels so good to hear, man.
Where's my daughter? They're hot. What? That must just burn his ass. That must burn his ass now. I think he was hoping his daughters would never grow up. Because now I saw a picture of him hanging out with a couple of his daughters, and one's just got the biggest set of tits on it. Just huge. Those big Jewish tits, right? Where you just want to stick one between it. Ooh, you're soiling her. Ooh. Ooh. Yeah, go drive her off to college. You know what happens there. Legs akimbo in the dorm room. Ooh, you're Howard's daughter, aren't you? Yeah, he hung up on me in '86. I'm just going to bang you.
Oh, boy.
Oh,
boy. Oh, boy.
Robin, she brought home a black guy. Ooh. Ooh, that karma's a bitch. Ooh. I think that's wonderful, Howard. Shut up. Shut up.
All right.
That tool.
So we start from this point.
5 years of crap he gave us, too.
Oh, we got tons of stories. Tons.
Mr. Handle Your Battles on the Air. Mr. He mentions Opie and Anthony after we're kicked off the air. Why didn't you talk about us when we were still on the air? Why'd you go to Mel Karmazin and say you shut them up? Why'd you do that, Howie? I thought you fought your brave battles. I thought you were a brave guy getting on the air and fighting your battles. Ooh, I'll take on Imus. Ooh, that's a tough one. What happened? Why'd you go and run to Mel Karmazin and make Mel bring us up into his office and say to us, what time do you wake up in the morning and decide how you're going to fuck Mel Karmazin? Yeah, I remember that meeting. Mel telling us Howard doesn't want you talking about him, so stop talking about him. Not how he was portrayed in that science fiction movie, Private Parts. That fantasy movie. Oh, my God. Oh, please, God, have his daughter bring home a black guy. Oh. He would shoot himself in the head. He would shoot himself in the head. And I realized it was all about Allison. All about my love of Allison. Remember that at the end of that fantasy movie? Wonderful. Yeah, make us shut up. Oh, for years we had to sit there, and then we couldn't talk about it. And then remember when we figured we'd say radio edit? Instead of saying Howard Stern, we would say the word radio edit. And what happened?
We weren't allowed to say
we
radio
weren't
edit?
allowed. He complained that people knew what radio edit went. Ooh, Mel, tell him to shut up. Don't even say radio edit. That's wonderful, Howard. And then what happened? We weren't able to say that anymore. Unbelievable.
So now we start from here, and we grow every day.
Yeah.
Every day this fine little virus called the O&A radio show will just start spreading all over the country.
That's right.
And we'll get our audience back, and we'll be on top again.
Because that's how it works. Because we always win in the end. Always. You tool.
Someday soon we'll talk about the time we got kicked out of his press conference when we were working for the same company.
Yeah.
When all we wanted was a sandwich.
Yeah. And was escorted out by security on his word after he called our boss crying, asking what we were doing there.
As he sat in his limo outside the, what was it, the Park Plaza?
Yeah.
Sitting in the limo,
out of it,
waiting for us to walk by so he could start his press conference.
And the same day, he was bitching that Stuttering John was thrown out of Billy Crystal's press conference. And what a pussy Billy Crystal must be that he can't handle Stuttering John being at his press conference. The same day, people. The same day. He had us thrown out of his press conference because he was afraid we were going to do something.
And the weird part is this was way before the bad blood. We were working for the same company.
Yeah.
He's doing a press conference. We're like, hey, why don't we go down, and have lunch, check out the press conference, maybe even say hi, like, hey, what's going on, whatever. And Anthony and I are sitting in the back row with sandwiches.
Yeah, eating our finger sandwiches.
This is when we first came back to New York after we got fired in Boston. And we're sitting there. No one knows who we are. No one knows what we look like. And we're just sitting there minding our own business, and we're wondering why the press conference ain't starting. And all of a sudden, we start seeing, like, people looking at us and stuff. And then a security guard comes over and goes, dudes, I am like the biggest Opie and Anthony fan, but I just got to know, you're not going to do anything when he shows up, right? Because there's a lot of nervous people here. I'm like, who's nervous? We're just sitting eating a sandwich.
Yeah.
We're like, no, man, we're just going to have lunch, check it out, and we're going to get out of here. All right, I just got to make sure. And he leaves. Another 10 or 15 minutes go by, and the press conference isn't starting. It's like a half hour late, and like the media that is there looking at their watches like, why is Howard late? Howard was late because he was waiting for us to get kicked out of there.
He was on the phone with Ken Stevens yelling that we are to be removed.
And we weren't even going to do anything.
This is the hypocrite.
So then two huge security guards in really nice suits come up to us and go, you guys got to leave immediately. And we're thinking, this is the same company. What are you talking about? No, you really have to leave. Howard's very upset, and you have to leave. He's not going to start the press conference until you guys leave. And then they walk us out of there, and remember all the women in the suit, jackets and stuff, and they had their arms folded and they're looking at us like, you pieces of S.
Yeah.
How dare you come to this press conference? And we're just thinking, same company, we'll check it out and have a few laughs.
No.
Walked right by his limo. He saw us leave. He was happy we were gone. Got out of his huge stretch limo, walked into the place and had the press conference.
Yeah. Unbelievable. What a hypocrite. You watch the fantasy movie, Private Parts, and see how he portrays Imus as being a scumbag that screwed him over during his days at NBC. Remember all the stories of how Imus was a bad guy and he was always behind the scenes trying to screw Howard over? That is nothing compared to the whining this guy did behind the scenes at Infinity Broadcasting. The whining and crying he did to Mel Karmazin, and how many meetings we had to take. And how much crap where Ken Stevens was crying one day in his office over calls he was getting from Mel that if you can't control those guys, I'm firing you. That's what Mel told Ken Stevens.
Well, then that was the day Ken Stevens quit on us as his boss.
Yeah.
As our boss.
Yeah. He packed his suitcase and was leaving the office saying, no, I quit.
And then we had to yell at him and say, you can't quit.
Yeah.
Now go back to being our boss.
Yeah.
I'll never forget that.
Go back in there and fight the good fight.
Yeah, go back in there and be our boss. We need you.
And
guys.
This wasn't a one-time thing. This happened all the time. Howard would constantly whine and cry.
VMA parties weren't allowed in the VIP room.
No.
I'm like, wait, we're working for the same company.
Nope.
Why aren't we allowed in the VIP room? We were broadcasting live from the the MTV music or video?
VMAs.
Yeah, the
music
VMAs.
ones.
Sorry. And then we go, all right, cool. Viacom has this huge area with nice food and free booze and stuff, and we try to go in there, and no, you guys can't come in here.
Yeah.
But we work for the company. No, I know, but Howard's in there, and there could be a problem if you're in there.
Could be a problem in there. Oh, okay. Oh, God, just the hypocrisy. I mean, it would be one thing if, you portrayed yourself as a pussy, but it's, tries to come off like the guy that's fighting the fight. Meanwhile, you don't. It's pathetic. Sit there whining to your boss. Ugh. And then we couldn't even talk about it. We couldn't even get on the air and talk about it because we'd get our boss fired. Oh, well.
So we got our freedom back, and we couldn't be happier today.
That's right.
That's why I want to tell people today. We are free. Woo-hoo. We are free. So, all right. Jim was just sitting there just with his tongue hanging out.
Just listen, man.
We're just telling the truth. And that's what I was telling Bob yesterday. I'm like, Bob, we're just going to tell the truth. Like it or not.
Yeah, we shut up for too long.
And if Viacom wants to continue hating us because we're telling the truth, then what am I, what are we going to do,
Yeah. I just, want to spell it out. That's the way it's been. This is no, nothing that hasn't been brewing for a while.
And then it got ugly when we were supposed to re-sign with Infinity. So we said, okay, look, we'll re-sign. Everything looks great, but we want to be able to talk about anyone and anything.
Yeah.
As long as it falls within FCC guidelines.
And they were so scared that we were going to Clear Channel and we were going to broadcast in mornings.
Well, Q104.
Yeah, and compete
here in New
with
York.
And compete with
that was definitely
going
to happen.
So they were going to give us anything.
Right. So they go, okay, sure, no problem. I got a copy of that contract. It says it right in there.
Yep.
You can talk about anyone we want.
Yeah.
Well, that changed. And then we said,
that lasted for a week and a half.
But we're like, wait, it's in our contract. And the words were tough shit.
Yep. That was it. Tough. Unbelievable.
Coming soon to the Opie and Anthony Network, it's the Jim Norton No Request Show.
That's me, Jim Norton, folks.
Play some Grateful Dead, man.
Jerry Garcia sat on a stool. He was awful.
Dude, can you play some Lenny Kravitz?
Come on, stop. Walks around with his dumb shades, and he's a hipster, and he stinks.
You request it, chances are he hates it.
Other bands are boring.
Nirvana.
Shut it, you dope.
Led Zeppelin.
Garbage.
You too!
I hate bandwagon bands like you two that are going to sit there and preach politics.
It's all Ozzy, all the time.
He's one of the best live performers on earth. He's dyslexic. It doesn't matter. He's a maniac on stage. That's the beauty of him.
Remember, if Ozzy didn't sing it...
One word answer. Awful. Awful. You stink. Horrible.
My boyfriend's gonna kill us both unless you play Limp Bizkit.
So what? Let him do it. Oh, brother.
Weekday mornings from 3 to 3:15.
Fine. I don't care.
I was walking down the street, and some construction guy was shouting at me, "Hey, show me your cans." So I did. And he plummeted 17 floors and was impaled on a forklift. But my tits looked great.
Please, wow responsibly. A public service announcement of the Opie and Anthony Show.
It's the O&A virus.